everyone. Welcome back to Talk English. I'm Sophie, and I'm so excited about today's topic because honestly, who doesn't love traveling? And you know what? One of the first things you need to do when you arrive somewhere is book a hotel room. So today, we're diving into exactly how to do that in English with confidence.
Hi everyone, Alex here. And Sophie's absolutely right. Booking a hotel is one of those essential travel skills. And the good news is, once you know the key phrases and vocabulary, it becomes so much easier. Whether you're calling ahead, booking at the front desk, or even handling check-in, we've got you covered today.
Yes, and I have to say, Alex, I remember the first time I had to book a hotel in English, I was so nervous. I kept rehearsing the phrases in my head before I even walked up to the reception desk.
That's completely normal. And honestly, that preparation is actually a smart strategy. The thing is, hotel conversations follow a pretty predictable pattern, which is great for learners. You're not going to encounter too many surprises. So once you know the structure, you'll feel much more confident.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. When you first approach the front desk or call a hotel, what's the very first thing you should say?
Great question. The most natural and polite way to start is simply, "Hello, I'd like to book a room, please." Or, if you already have a reservation, "Hello, I have a reservation under the name," and then you say your last name. It's straightforward, but it immediately tells the staff what you need.
Right, and that word reservation is super important. It basically means you've already arranged to have a room. You've booked it in advance. So if you're walking in without booking ahead, you'd say, "I'd like to book a room." But if you called yesterday or booked online, you say, "I have a reservation."
Exactly. Now here's where it gets interesting. The receptionist will usually ask you a series of questions, and this is where learners sometimes freeze up. But don't worry, because these questions are almost always the same ones.
Ooh, yes, let's go through them. So what would they typically ask first?
They'll usually ask about the type of room you want. For example, would you like a single room or a double room? A single room has one bed for one person, and a double room has either one large bed or two separate beds for two people.
And here's a little tip. If you're traveling with a friend or partner and you want two separate beds, you can ask for a twin room. That's different from a double, which usually means one big bed. I actually made that mistake once. I thought double meant two beds, but nope.
That's such a common confusion, and honestly, it's better to clarify up front. You can simply say, "I'd like a room with two single beds, please," to be crystal clear. Another question they'll ask is, "How many nights will you be staying?"
Yes, and this is where you need to be comfortable with numbers and dates. You might say something like, "I'll be staying for 3 nights," or "I'm checking in today and checking out on Friday." The key words here are check in and check out.
Perfect explanation. Check-in is when you arrive and get your room key, and check-out is when you leave and return the key. Most hotels have specific times for these. Usually check-in is around 2 or 3 p.m., and check-out is usually around 11 a.m. or noon.
Right, so if you arrive early, you might hear, "I'm sorry, but check-in isn't until 3 p.m. You're welcome to leave your luggage here." And luggage just means your bags, your suitcases, anything you're traveling with.
Exactly. Now, another really important question they'll ask is about payment. They might say, "How would you like to pay?" Or, "Would you be paying by credit card or cash?" And in most hotels nowadays, they'll ask for a credit card even if you're paying cash later, just to hold the reservation.
Yes, and don't be surprised if they say something like, "We'll need a credit card for incidentals." That word sounds fancy, but incidentals just means extra charges, like if you use the minibar, order room service, or make phone calls from your room.
That's a great point. You can always ask, "What does that cover?" if you're unsure. Now, let's talk about some other common requests you might want to make. For example, maybe you want a room with a nice view, or you need a non-smoking room.
Oh, absolutely. You can say things like, "Do you have any rooms with a view?" Or, "I'd prefer a non-smoking room, please." And if you have special needs, like you need a room on the lower floor because you have heavy luggage, just say it. "Could I have a room on the first floor, please?"
Yes, and hotels are usually very accommodating. Another important one, breakfast. Some hotels include breakfast in the price, some don't. So you might want to ask, "Is breakfast included?" If it is, they might say, "Yes, breakfast is served from 7 to 10 a.m. in the dining room."
Breakfast. Okay, but let's imagine a real situation now. Let's say you walk up to the hotel reception after a long flight, you're tired, maybe a little nervous about speaking English. What would that conversation actually sound like?
Good idea. Let's do a mini role play. I'll be the receptionist. So you walk up and I say, "Good evening. Welcome to the Grand Hotel. How can I help you?"
Hi, I have a reservation under the name Martin.
Perfect. Let me check that for you. Yes, Miss Martin. I have you down for a double room for 2 nights. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Wonderful. May I see your passport and a credit card, please?
Sure, here you go.
Thank you. You'll be in room 304 on the third floor. Breakfast is included and served from 7 to 10 a.m. in the dining room. Here's your key card. The elevators are just over there.
Thank you so much. See, that's it. That's the whole conversation, and honestly, it's not that scary when you break it down.
Not at all. And notice how polite both sides were. Lots of please and thank yous. That courtesy is really important in English, especially in service situations like hotels.
Absolutely. Now, Alex, what about when things don't go as planned? Like, what if there's a problem with your room?
Great question, because this is where learners really need to know how to speak up. If something's wrong, the room is too noisy, the air conditioning isn't working, the bed isn't comfortable, you should definitely tell the front desk.
Yes, and you don't have to be aggressive or rude. You can be polite but firm. For example, "Excuse me, there's a problem with my room. The air conditioning isn't working. Could someone take a look at it, please?"
Perfect phrasing. Or if the noise is an issue, "I'm sorry, but my room is very noisy. Would it be possible to change to a quieter room?" Using phrases like "would it be possible to" or "could you" makes you sound polite but clear about what you need.
I love that. And honestly, most hotels want you to be happy, so they'll usually try to fix the problem right away. It's okay to speak up. You're paying for the service after all.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some vocabulary that might come up. We mentioned minibar, that's the small refrigerator in your room with drinks and snacks. Housekeeping is when you order food to be delivered to your room, and housekeeping is the staff who clean your room.
Yes, and if you don't want your room cleaned, you can put the "Do Not Disturb" sign on your door. Or if you need towels or toiletries like shampoo, soap, toothpaste, you can call housekeeping and request them.
Right, and here's a useful phrase. "Could I have some extra towels, please?" Or "Do you have a hair dryer I could borrow?" Simple, direct, polite.
You know what I think trips people up sometimes? It's asking about amenities. Like, does the hotel have a gym? Or is there Wi-Fi in the rooms? These are totally normal questions to ask.
Absolutely. You can ask at check-in or even when you're booking, what amenities does the hotel offer? Amenities are the extra features or services: pool, gym, Wi-Fi, parking, laundry service, airport shuttle.
Yes, and if you need an airport shuttle, you might ask, "Do you provide transportation to the airport?" Or "How much is the shuttle service?" It's all about asking clear, simple questions.
Exactly. Now, let's move to checkout because that's the final part of the hotel experience. When you're ready to leave, you go back to the front desk and say, "I'd like to check out, please. I'm in room 304."
And they'll probably ask, "Did you use the minibar or have any other charges?" Be honest. If you did, just say, "Yes, I had a few items from the minibar." They'll add it to your bill.
Right. Then they'll print your bill, that's the list of all your charges, and ask, "How would you like to pay?" You pay, they give you a receipt, and you're done. You might say, "Thank you for everything. I had a wonderful stay."
Ugh, I love ending on a positive note. And honestly, that little bit of gratitude goes a long way. Hotel staff remember guests who are kind and polite.
Definitely. Now, let's think about different levels of learners. If you're a beginner, just focus on the essential phrases. "I'd like to book a room," "How much is it per night?" "What time is checkout?" Keep it simple and clear.
Yes, and intermediate learners, you can start adding those polite conditional phrases we mentioned. Would it be possible to? Could you please? I was wondering if. It makes you sound more natural and fluent.
And advanced learners, you can handle more complex situations, negotiating rates, discussing specific room features, handling complaints diplomatically. The key is confidence and vocabulary range.
I think the biggest thing for all levels is just practice. Even if you're nervous, even if your English isn't perfect, hotel staff are usually very understanding. They deal with international guests all the time.
That's such an important point, Sophie. Your English doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're clear and polite, you'll be understood. And honestly, making small mistakes is part of the learning process.
Exactly. And you know what? The more you practice these situations, the more automatic they become. Your brain starts to remember the patterns, the phrases, and suddenly you're not translating in your head anymore. You're just speaking.
That's the goal right there. And here's a little homework for everyone listening. Next time you're planning a trip, try calling a hotel in English to ask about availability and prices. Even if you don't book, it's fantastic practice in a real situation.
Oh, I love that idea. Or even practice with a friend. Do role plays where one person is the guest and the other is the receptionist. It's fun and super effective.
Absolutely. And remember, traveling is one of the best ways to improve your English because you're using it in real, meaningful contexts. Every hotel booking, every restaurant order, every conversation with a local, it all adds up.
Yes, and don't let fear hold you back. I know it can feel intimidating, but the people you meet while traveling are usually so kind and patient. They want to help you, and they appreciate that you're trying to speak their language.
Well said. So, to recap, and I'm just going to touch on the key points quickly. When booking a hotel, know your essential phrases. I'd like to book a room, state how many nights, what type of room, ask about check-in and check-out times, and don't hesitate to ask questions or request what you need.
Perfect. And use polite language, be clear about your needs, and remember that hotel conversations follow a predictable pattern. Once you know that pattern, it becomes so much easier.
Exactly. And with all that practice, you'll be booking hotels like a pro in no time.
Okay, everyone, before we wrap up today, we'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments, what's your English level? Have you ever booked a hotel in English? How did it go? And if you found this episode helpful, please hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up.
Yes, and share this with anyone you know who's learning English or planning to travel. The more we support each other, the more confident we all become. Thank you so much for listening to Talk English today, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Safe travels, everyone, and happy learning. Bye!
Goodbye.